All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesday Night Tune-Up. We're coming to you live tonight from the Centerville Dragway in Centerville, Arkansas. I'm Bill Gilkey, and my co-host over here, the chameleon of motorsports, Heath Tate. And we're proud to be here tonight. And like I said last week, we want to thank last week's guest. We had John Waugh from Batesville, Arkansas, Travis Mosley, also from Batesville. Ray Sullins came up from Heater Springs. And Mooney Starr, the owner of Batesville Speedway, was with us. We want to thank them for hosting the show last week. Like I said, this week, we're here at the Centerville Dragway, and we've got Centerville Dragway owner and promoter Wayne Stiles with us tonight. And Heath, I think you had a few things to go over from last week.
Oh, I don't know if any of y'all got to watch it, but there was some great racing at Batesville. Race for Hope. Other than the rain, moving in Saturday, had to put it off till Sunday, but there was some great racing up there. And Mooney just wanted to appreciate everybody coming out, supporting the Race for Hope, and all the drivers coming out. It was some good racing.
It was, and Heath made it up there this weekend, and after being on the show last week, he was a little bit of a celebrity up there at Batesville. I was told that people stood in line for 45 minutes to get autographs up there.
It was something.
Now Wayne Brooks did tell me that he came over and moved those 7 people away from John Waugh's car where he could get out and qualify Friday night, but I'd have thought you could have moved 7 people a little faster.
Probably
than 45
not.
minutes. But anyway, we'll like I said, we're here with Arkansas Motorsports Magazine, and just reminding you, check us out on Facebook and our webpage at www.arkansasmotorsportsmagazine.com. What we're about is reporting on racing, racers, promoters, even some stories. We believe that every racer out there's got a story, every promoter's got a story, and we're out here to try to tell those stories. So check us out. And I know a lot of people say, well, I get all my racing information on Facebook, and that's a good deal. Facebook puts a lot of results and everything out there, but what you get with Arkansas Motorsports Magazine is we tell the stories behind the races. So check us out, and the other thing we're doing is try to help preserve the history of motorsports in Arkansas. So we'll get right into this week's program. We got Wayne Stiles here, the owner and promoter of the Centerville Dragway, and he's got a big weekend coming up as the Heads Up Street Legal State Championship races are this weekend. So,
yes,
Wayne, we'll let you take over and tell us what we got coming up this weekend.
Well, we've got a whole bunch of Heads Up racing, everything from 8.0 index, 1150 index, 1,000-foot stuff, all the way up to the big tire outlaws. So, I mean, we've got 17 classes.
17
classes.
18
classes. I think we added one the other day. So
Oh, well, we added one, so we got 18
classes.
classes.
Yeah, and it's always a good show. There's a lot of really cool stuff here to see, and the cars are fast and some good stuff.
Tell us about the speeds that someone that's never been out here before can come out this weekend. What kind of speeds can we see in the 8th mile?
Well, like small tire cars, 430s. Depending on who's here, it could even be faster than that.
What would the mile an hour be on that?
170 to 180.
In the 8th mile, ladies and gentlemen, 170, 180 mile an hour is really fast.
And that's on a small. Generally, they run a small radial tire.
Something about this size on the back.
Right,
So
right. The big tire guys, Harry Crane has been real fast this year. Been going 14s. With his big tire car, real consistently. Mike Coldiron. There's several of those guys that have been putting on a good show for us this year.
what about some of the index classes that you're going to have? And explain the index racing a little bit.
Okay, index racing is heads up racing on a breakout. We have a 550, a 6.0, 7.0, 8.0, and then those are all 8th of a mile classes. Then we have some 1,000-foot street car classes and their indexes, 1050, 1150, 1250 for street legal.
And there's some exciting racing in the
Yes.
index classes.
Oh yeah, the racing's always close.
It really is.
It sure is, yeah. It's a
And like I said, this is probably your biggest weekend out of the year, close to it.
Yes, sir. It's
And-
usually the biggest race we have all year.
And there'll be, I mean, there's no telling how many cars will be here for, you know, all y'all come out and watch. There'll be cars of every make and model just about out here racing.
Yeah, there's always a lot of cool stuff. And we've had over 200 cars at this race, you know, before, so you never know what you're going to get. And with the weather looking nice like it is, it could be that big, or maybe bigger, you know, because this year's been really not, it's been a good year since we got through the COVID shutdown, you know, so hopefully we're going to finish it up strong.
In talking about the weather being good this weekend, how important is that as far as the performance of the cars?
Good weather conditions are everything, you know, especially to the small tire guys. You know, you need good track conditions for those guys. And when the temperatures aren't too hot or too cold, it makes all the difference in the world, you know. We do the best we can do on the track prep, but you need Mother Nature helping you.
Talk a little bit about what goes into prepping the track.
That's
I
what
know
I
a
was
lot of
fixing to
people
say.
out there in the dirt track world, they kind of understand that, you know, there's a lot of prep that goes on that, but what a lot of people don't understand is that even on asphalt and concrete, there's a lot of track maintenance that goes on there too. Can you
Yes, sir.
explain a little bit about that?
Every week, me and Eric and Sonny, we scrape. Matter of fact, this week we're planning on scraping nearly the whole track. So, I mean, we've got lots of work ahead of us still this week. But that's where you start. You scrape it, then you start dragging on it. You spend hours on the tractor, just dragging back and forth, trying to get the rubber smooth. And we use a lot of glue. You know, a lot of glue to make it work. So.
And
Explain to those that are watching when you're talking about glue and the syrup, everything that you're putting out there. Explain to them exactly kind of what that is, because I know a lot of people are sitting there going, "Oh, glue? What's he talking about glue?" I mean,
It's a special compound that they used to be called VHT, and
Right.
there's still VHT, and you've got VP products, their brand. We use both of them from time to time, depending on the conditions. But it's just a sticky substance you spray on the track, and it'll pull your shoes off when you walk out there.
and yes, it will. If y'all have not ever been out there on it, then you walk out there and you'll think you're sticking to it
Yeah.
for sure. But
Yeah, like fly paper, yes.
now, the other thing people might not quite understand, that there's a great expense when it comes to prepping a track. And I won't ask the financial aspects of it, but I know me and you have talked about it before, but there's great expense for a track owner to prep a track for a race such as this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. I long for the days when we first bought the place back in the early 90s. Wendell, there was no track prep. You know, I mean, I don't know if he even blew anything off. You know, we just went out there and raced on it, you know, and it was all good. But, you know, now you buy drums of glue at a time, and, you know, you spend hours and hours dragging on it, on the tractors. You know, you got the expense for diesel, you know, the manual labor to do the scraping. It's just it's a full-time deal. I mean, you can't skip a week because it doesn't work.
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about then and now. I remember back in high school being out here and racing in the street class, and Wendell, you know, was here, and there was a guy named Butch Bowerman that helped him that lives over in
Yeah.
Danville, where we're from, and it was late on a Sunday afternoon, and somebody had blew up down about the finish line, and Butch goes down there in Wendell's truck and mops around a little bit, and he comes back up and he says, "Bill," he said, "there's a small puddle of oil down around the finish line. Try to straddle that when you get down there." And I'll never forget that. And then I remember, you know, when y'all took over the racetrack, you know, if there was a spill or something, you know, we had never seen anybody come in and clean up a spill like you did, you know. And we were like, "What's this holdup for?" You know, we've been racing out here for years, you know. But no, that goes to show the type of operation that you've always tried to run here.
A lot of the old track promoters, you know, whenever you'd have an old down, they'd say, "Get the streetcars out."
Yeah.
You know, send the streetcars down.
But you know, the small tire class that you talked about, what type of cars is somebody that has not ever been here, they come out here this weekend, what type of cars are we talking about that are going to be going down the track? And
A lot of Mustangs, Camaros, you see a little bit of everything in small tire, but you know the Fox body platform is a killer deal for that class. You know they limit some of the sanctioning bodies and stuff limit them to stock style suspension, so it'll look a lot like a stock Mustang underneath, but you know I mean it's a pretty enhanced version of it, and they work really well. You know. Eric, what are some of the 60s that those guys?
115 down to the mid 1 second range. I think Randy Westmoreland tested the other day, and he went a 107 60 foot on a big radial. So,
and what they're talking about is from the time that the car launches at the start of the race until it goes 60 foot, covering that in about a second, and that's that's getting on it right there. Who are some of the top drivers that we can expect out here this weekend?
Well, I'm not sure if Randy Westmoreland's going to run small tire, but if he does, he'll be a contender for it. We've got Brian Heiss with the Fairmont. That he's tough. I mean, he runs hard. Brandon Stillwell. I mean, there's a group of about 15 or 20 that come to they come to our monthly races, and they're all real competitive. And you know, all it takes is one slip up, and you don't have to be the fastest to win. You know, it's some really good racing.
And
that's another thing I was going to explain. Like, you don't have to be the fastest to win. It's some of those out there that's talking about, bracket racing or said my car might not be as fast as this guy, but they can still win out here. As far as as a bracket race, when y'all have bracket racing going on out here at the racetrack.
Yeah, bracket racing is a great equalizer. I mean, you know, anybody can win a bracket race if they get their program together. If they can cut a light, figure out what the car's going to run, and know how to dial it in. But by saying that anybody can win this small tire stuff, it's the guys that can get down the track consistently. You know, it's really tough to get that kind of power. You know, I mean, we're talking about guys with 2,500 horsepower, you know, on a really small tire. You know, and if they can get it down through there every time, they've got a good chance of going all the way.
So what will kind of, and for the people watching, they're going to come out here now Friday, the gates are going to open at what time?
4:30.
4:30,
Yeah.
and then you're going to have a couple rounds of qualifying and some testing.
One round of qualifying for small tire, big tire, and small tire no power adder, all motor class, and then it's going to be open testing tune for anyone with slicks and drag radials. No hard tires, no street tires. It's rough on the track surface, but we'll be testing and tuning the whole time from 5:30 until we close about 10:30.
And then on Saturday, the day of the big event, what time do the gates out here open?
I believe we're opening up at 9:30. We're going to start teching at 10. We're going to tech cars until noon. Right at noon, we're going to start getting cars down the track. We're going to do one round of qualifying for all classes. Then we're going to start racing.
Well, that'll be something that's a little different this year. You're having a round of qualifying on Friday, and then a one-shot qualifier on Saturday.
Right.
That's a little bit different from the format from years ago. And we were talking the other day, and I didn't realize this, but this is the oldest heads-up street race in the world.
Well, right.
Right here at the Centerville Dragway, right here in Dale County, Arkansas.
We started this race the same year that Memphis started the street machine, or the street, I don't remember what they even called that race, but we did it the same year they did. Well, we've done ours continuously every year. You know, they closed the Memphis track for a little while, so we got ahead of them.
Yeah, so
we've had one every year for 20 some odd years. So.
That's a big deal to have a continuous race like that, especially the caliber of drivers that this race brings in. Not just from here in Arkansas. There's people come from Oklahoma and Missouri and all over for this thing. And folks, I'm telling you, if you've never come out and seen this race this weekend, come out this weekend for a fantastic motorsports show. Nobody does drag racing any better than what Wayne Stiles and his family do. I promise you, if you'll come out this weekend, you'll have a great time. And Heath, what?
You'll enjoy the heck out of it. I mean, everybody come out and watch it. You'll see some great racing, and I mean, you'll get
It's
to
a
look at
show.
some-
Yeah, it's a show.
You'll get to look at some sharp cars.
It's a
at
car
that.
show.
It's a car show. I mean, it's just like a car show. I mean, you're gonna get to look at some sharp cars out here, and
They go fast.
they go fast.
And the other thing, if you don't know, you know, when you come out here and you pay admission to get into this thing, you've pretty well got free run of the racetrack and over in the pit area. And just watching some of the between round maintenance that some of these guys do, every time that they go out on the track is a show in itself. I mean, it's a fantastic way to spend, you know, your Friday evening or Saturday afternoon this weekend. You'll be entertained.
So, you know, there are 200 cars out here, and you walk around and just, you know, you'll see something different on every one of them that you'll be asking yourself questions. You know, what's this? Or so.
Wayne, anything else you want to say before we close out this segment of the show about this weekend?
It's going to be good. The weather's going to be perfect. The cars will be fast, so, you know, come and see it. You'll be amazed.
All right, we're going to close out this segment, and we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We get to the last segment of the show. We're going to bring Wayne Stiles back, and we're going to talk a little bit about his racing career years ago. So Wayne will rejoin us a little bit in a little bit. And Wayne, we appreciate you having us out tonight, and hope you have a great weekend. And like I said, come out this weekend. All right. As we move on to the next segment of the show, we want to thank our sponsors, True Grit Auction Company over in Darnell, Arkansas, Ecky's DCR Racing Parts and Accessories down in North Little Rock, Arkansas for helping bring Tuesday night tune-up, and Weston Petroleum Company. Thanks all of those, and also the Centerville Dragway and the Big Street Legal State Championship this weekend. So that's our sponsors for this week's show, and we'll have you back just a little bit.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, and now another local personality that's come down to join us tonight. If we could have Glendon Graham come over, former dirt track racing champion from just down the road here in Mount George, Arkansas. Glad to have Glendon on the show tonight.
Glad to be here.
And we appreciate you driving down and being here tonight.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, it was a long drive in from Mount George, 3.5 miles, probably, something like
that's
that.
about it.
All right, I'm going to let him work you over. He always asks the questions other sports journalists are afraid to ask.
You know,
So,
I met Glendon a while back, but I guess the big question is originally when you decided to get into dirt track racing, how did that happen? How did
This was, I
You
was
know.
a pretty young kid, probably 6, 7 years old. I went down to Little Rock, the track in Centerville, when you thought about it, you know. And I went down to Benton, had a cousin over there, Benton. And he took me over to I-30 on Saturday night, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is something I have got to do. So they opened the track, and I had a little motor scooter, and I was 13. I never missed it. I mean, Bobby Moore, Bill Yates, you know, Lear Hudson, Lloyd Cheeseman, they was my heroes. You know, that's it. I just gotta do this. So I had a childhood friend, Mike Jackson, and Paul Fink, and they're both deceased. You know, sad to say. Anyway, I was over at Mike's house, and Paul, his brother-in-law, had moved here from Texas. They done a little asphalt racing he had, and he was talking to us, man, we really would like to race. He said, well, I've got this 57 Chevrolet here, so we could build one out of that. So we grabbed him, we was ready to knock the windows out. Paul said, oh, wait a minute. And we think, no, he's back down. I got to go to the store and get back cigarettes. He went and got back the cigarettes, came back. We knocked the windows out the next Saturday night, we're racing.
about what year was that?
No, 73, 4, somewhere along there. Yeah. And then it went on from there.
Now, I remember as a small child watching you race, and I remember you having a gremlin at one
Well,
time.
that's kind of sore subject. Well, we raced the 57. Me and Mike, we took time out driving it there for a year. And next year, Paul built mine at Shitty 2. And we was riding around over in Harkins Valley, and we saw this gremlin down the pasture. These kids driving around, you know, in windows and stuff, you know. And we said, you know, that might make a race car. So we stopped. I think we give him $75 for it. Drove it home. No windows in it. We got home. Paul, over the winter, Paul built the Grendon. And we built it to run C class, ABC.
Yeah.
You know, 6 cylinders in the C. And what we didn't know was there was actually a year limit on that 6 cylinder. It couldn't be anything later than a 223 Ford or 235 Chevrolet. Well, this had a 232 in it, so we think we're good. No, it was late model, so we couldn't run it in 6 cylinder. Then
I didn't know what engine yet, but I remember you running with the late models.
Well,
back then.
we was going to run B class. Well, no, got to be a V8 to run that class. So I had to run A class. And I'm, you know, a 16-year-old kid out there, never, you know, just didn't know what I was doing. And I'd get out and circle around top of the track, those guys, and by me, you know. But the good thing was, of course, the A class paid the most money. They wouldn't be over 3 or 4 cars finish usually. So I'm taking home $50 a night, thinking I'm a racing.
You know, and you ran street stock there for a while, and
yeah, I won the championship in '95 in street stock. I sat down a little while when I built my house and had a friend call me up and say, you know, we'll build a race car. I'd like you to drive it. And it took me about 2 seconds. Okay, you know, I'm ready. So we built the car and we raced street stock with it. And then he got to racing and not the car. In '95 I won the championship.
And if I'm correct here, and you tell me if I'm not, but you know, Glendon here was probably, or was, the first person in Yale County here to have a modified. And that was 95, 96?
95. I got modified in 95, went modified racing in 96.
Yeah, because, you know, everything around here was a full body car. There wasn't no, you know, nobody knew what a modified was back then in Yale County around here. I mean, they've seen them at different places, but they just wasn't here.
Yeah, Wendell didn't like modifieds. he didn't like modifieds at all. Even I took mine down there to practice, you know, little. He didn't even like me bringing it down there to practice. But we was good buddies, so he let me. But yeah, I raced, I think, probably 10 different tracks to the state. And, you know, had some high points, low points, you know. I lost my main man, you know, when I went modified racing. Larry Parks, he stayed here in street stock racing. And he kept his car at my shop. And I helped him, he helped me. He went on to be an excellent driver, won like 23 features one year. And I had really, only pit crew I had was my wife. You know, and she wasn't good on the car, but she could tell me how I was doing. You know, I'd come in and she'd say, what is wrong? You're as slow as a turnip. I'm thinking, yeah, I got to pick it up now. Or she'd come in, you better load that thing on the trailer. You hit every car out there. We got to get out of here.
What was it that attracted you to the modified?
Oh, I just loved them. You know, the economy. You know, back then it's a $200 climber. You just throw no motor in them and go racing. And that was my deal. I never spent a lot of money on motors. And you know, I built everything myself. You know, I could throw a no motor together and go race and be competitive.
Now that brings up an interesting topic there, because I remember when you talk about motors, I remember you did a lot of experimenting with a V6 and a modified.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
but tell us a little bit about the V6 and the modified.
Well, they had no weight limit, and these guys were special baits. They were buying these back then the Bush series. They had run V6 and they went to the V8. Well, those things were all over the market. Them guys up there were buying those things, putting in the modifieds and tearing it up. You know, I think, well, I'll just build it. The year before that, I won Tri-State. I won 3 features in a row, and they claimed them. So I took all that money I got from winning the claim and built the V6. Well, I didn't have enough of it. I didn't have one of those NASCAR V6s. So it didn't have quite enough power, and it didn't work out. And I was going to up it and give me a better crank and get some more power out of it the next year. And they put a weight limit on. You know, I was down to 1,900 pounds with that V6, and they upped the weight to 2,450. Well, that's it. Even the NASCAR V6s was done. So.
But in running that V6, and we talked about this years ago, you you had to do a little bit of different chassis design to try to get the weight around in the car with the V6.
Yeah, we had, well, actually, David Young built me a car that we put the V6 in, and he built it just, everything on it as nice as he could. Because that's what we was going after.
Yeah.
We knew we had to get the weight down to make that thing competitive. And I was trying to run Tri-State. That track, that's a motor track. It is, if I'd probably been on a short track, it may be a different story.
What's one of your best memories of dirt track racing?
Oh, there's so many. Over 35 years,
Yeah.
there's so many. Oh, probably the motor claim at Tri-State. I won 3 features in a row, Them guys were really mad. Especially when they got hold of that motor, I'm sure they were really mad.
But
I had talked to you.
And I won the Sportsmanship Award at I-30 in 2006. That's probably my dearest accomplishment.
when you can, whether it's drag racing or stock car, when you win a sportsmanship award, that's about the highest compliment that anybody can ever be paid.
I told Tracy, and then I won. I said, Tracy, I sure appreciate this. You don't owe me no thanks. You wasn't killing that. You won that. So we keep score every Saturday night. So you won the trophy. Okay, appreciate it.
Me and you had talked a while back, and we're here at the Centerville drag strip, and there was a time that we worked here.
I did.
And when you were many years ago, the dirt track wasn't here at that point in
Yeah,
time.
it shut down. It had a rough time there, and it shut down. It was down for 5 years. And I wanted to be involved in racing. At the time, I was raising kids, and I didn't make much money. I couldn't go off racing no more. So my colleague at work had built the timing system for the track, built from scratch, all of it. And he would move to Texas. He drawn out a schematic by hand over the system, brushed me up on how it worked, and he moved off to Texas. Well, Wendell, he had a problem. He'd come to the house on Sunday morning. They got to where it's about every Sunday morning. So he finally decided he just hired me. So I worked here that whole 5 years. The track was shut down. They can keep the timing system in the tower, kept times and all of that. So I saw a lot of track racing.
You kept up with the timing system, kept it working, and then figured out that there was a little bit of problem with some of that, and you had to design a.
Yeah, we back then all we had we had a pre-stage, a stage, and a window.
Right.
I mean that's it. And you didn't dial in the 2 cars. We had to look at the windshield, look at the ETs, subtract that, but the difference in the in the clocks and there was no reaction time. So one of the drivers was throwing a 50 reaction time. So I built a reaction timers and put on the system. Well, when we got those on there, you could take a reaction time and the time the car will run and add those up, and you could figure out if things were right or not. Well, we figured it up and they weren't right. Our delay wasn't quite long enough. So the slow car had an inch. I had to go in and redesign that.
All that.
And it all worked
But it made the racing better here.
out. Yeah.
It made the racing better here.
But, I was chumped to be. As soon as the track opened 5 years, I told Wendell, "You're going to find somebody else because I'm going dirt tracking."
And then he eventually come down there to the dirt track as well.
Finally on that, yeah. But back with the Wendell again.
And you raced plumb up till
2012.
2012.
Yeah. I was starting to race against Bill Yates and those grandsons, and I'm thinking, it might be time for me to do something different while I can still walk. And these kids are outrunning me. Of course, Bill did in the time too, so.
There's like I said, just right here and talk about the dirt track here. There's just a lot of history, a lot of those. There was a lot of really talented drivers that had come out of that dirt track down there, and
I think there's a lot of them could have went somewhere if they'd had a chance. They could have went on to bigger and better things.
you know, I think had it not been for the geographical location that we're in, you know, we were so far away from the Carolinas that I think a lot of you guys, you know, if we'd been closer, we've got to watch a lot of you guys race on Sunday.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I had that kind of talent, you know, and then the asphalt wasn't the thing for me. I mean, that's what beat the track.
But, but,
Sorry, you drag racers.
but you know, whether it be stock car racing or drag racing, you know, just right here in this area, there is an abundance of talent in both sports here. And I tell people all the time, if you can win a race at either one of those tracks here in the county, you can go anywhere in the world and win a race. It's just that tough. Anything else you got, Heath?
I appreciate y'all having me.
It's been.
It makes me think back about some old times that I hadn't thought about in a long time.
And we, you know, we'll get the word out to your wife that we rejuvenated your career here tonight, and we'll be looking for you on the track next season.
Well, that's one thing. I don't go to the track. And that's one.
Get that buggy.
I would be racing probably.
And
I'm just too old.
Well, Glendon, it was a pleasure.
You know, and Glendon was saying, I already said, you know, he said, I've got rid of everything I own as far as racing except that V6 motor.
Well, there's still hope. There's still hope.
So hope.
Well, Glendon, we appreciate you coming down and visiting
Thanks for
with us tonight, and we'll have you back again sometime. Ladies and gentlemen, Glendon Graham. All right, getting ready to move on to the third segment of the show tonight. And again, we want to thank True Grit Auction Company over in Dardanelle, Arkansas, Weston Petroleum Company, and Ecky's DCR Racing Parts and Accessories down in North Little Rock, Arkansas for helping bring Tuesday Night Tune-Up. And without further ado, we will bring in pro OE drag racer, good friend of ours, Eric Foster. Eric, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Absolutely.
He's been waiting all day to work you over.
Oh, I've known Eric for a long time when he was just a little brat that bugged me.
And I've done the same thing with him. So
Yeah,
he's,
so-
you know,
We've known each other a long time between the two of you.
Yeah, well, of course I know how you got drag racing, but I'm gonna let you tell us right now how you got involved when you was a senior in high school.
Yeah, really a lot of it started out with Bill's family, with Bob and Jeff and Bill and the Willis. And, I had my old Chevy truck in high school, and me and a few guys from Havana decided, you know, we were talking, who's faster, you know, obviously, your truck's faster than mine, no it's not. So we decided to come out here, and, you know, once you, like he was saying, once you go to any racetrack and you got any kind of bug, you're hooked. So we started doing that, jerking them around town, and Havana, Dublin, Danville, and everywhere like that. And, then I got in with Bill and Jeff and them guys, and they were bracket racing on Sundays. And I knew Sonny Hazel and Eddie. They helped me build my first motor, but way before I met Sonny and Wayne and Patty family. I had a '69 Camaro I bought from Sonny, and it was quite a bit faster than my truck. Had a pretty nice hot motor in it, and I got some slicks on it. Come down with Jeff and them on a Sunday, and it just kind of got me hooked on the bracket racing part. I found out real quick I could afford to do the heads up stuff, so got started out in that '69 Camaro, and of course I was here every Saturday night. I'd run every class that Wayne had let me run, every one of them, up to King of the Hill.
Speaking of King of
the Hill, yeah, there was a
one night. You know, I don't know if you remember, but you were in your truck and you went to the finals.
Yes,
King
he
Hill.
did. He did.
Against Doc
Doc
and the Studebaker.
yeah.
Yep. And you know, funny about that story, I remember exactly what happened. When we left, his truck died, or stumbled just about to die, and boy, here I am, 3 on the tree. And boy, that thing got going, and he flew by me so fast, I didn't know where I was at. But yeah, I reminded Doc of that a while back here at the track.
And that's what I'm saying. Your original truck that you started racing,
still
there
got
was
it.
a '69
Yep.
Chevrolet, 3 on the tree.
I still got the truck.
And
yeah, it's an automatic now. Lee Yates put an automatic, and I drove that thing. Took me 3 days to get to his place over there, Onyx. He put an automatic in that thing for me, and I still got that truck. My mom and dad, my grandpa gave me. I don't guess I'll ever get rid of it, but yeah, I still got it. I sold the Camaro. I don't sell very many cars, but I did sell the Camaro, and I regret that. But it got me started, and I'll never forget the night Sonny asked me out down at the Yukon Shack. She handed me a. It was. Let me tell you that story. That's a quick one, but
That is a good.
I was at Memphis that Saturday, and we got done, and I was on my way home with Alan Craig and Larry Tate, who helped me build my Chevelle. But I said, you know what? I think I can make the races. I called my grandma and grandpa, lived in Rover, and I said, can you guys meet me somewhere with my Camaro, and then I'll just go to the track straight from there. Well, they met me there, Chamberlain, or one at the junction there, before the golf course was there. And my grandpa and grandma come and brought me that car, and I drove it down here, and I drove straight to Sonny. Said, just come on through, straight into the staging lanes to race. And then when I come through, she asked me if I want to go on to a concert with her, and that was 20 years ago. And I said, yeah, I'll go on. History since. Been here ever since.
And yeah, been here ever since.
Ever since.
But part of that is, if I can remember correctly, I think, over here, you sitting there, probably with your dad and them, man, what would it be like to sit here and date Wayne's daughter?
Yeah.
Man, I could drag race all the time. I could go here.
That is turning into a lot of
But
work.
you just didn't. You just wouldn't go ask her.
No, I was scared to death of it, but I'm glad it all worked out. It changed my life. Not that I was on a bad path or anything, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's
But
big shit.
now I guess you're out here and you're helping Wayne work on the work the track and keep up with this place and
Oh yeah, we
I tell you,
I guess my big question is now is over all this time, this 20 something years you've been over here racing, how much have you learned from Wayne? As far as him being able to sit there and tell you what you're doing wrong, because I know Wayne was a heck of a drag racer too, so.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to be around minds that helped me. Even Sonny Hazel, he put his arm around me. He helped me years ago. I didn't have a clue, and he helped me, and then I got in with Larry Tate. Larry Tate helped me build my Chevelle, and till a year ago, it still had the same paint on after all them years. He done a great job. It was all done at shop at Havana, but he helped me. And then when I met Sonny and got in with Wayne, I've learned so much. I'm not near as sharp as a lot of these people we race with around here, but I've learned a lot. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do now, because you can't afford to have people do all your work for you. You just can't do it. You got to learn something. So I've learned a lot from Wayne. But enjoy it too, though. We have a good time. Me and him and Danny Rader, we do. We have some good times in the shop. So
Wayne, and I'm going to say this with him sitting there. He's more than just the track on everything. He has helped so many people that come through this gate down here get started in racing and keep them going.
Yeah.
And like I said, he has taught and helped so many people out here. He's just and a few weeks ago he was racing in one of the classes out here during the Racers Reunion, and I think a testament to that. And he's out here trying to run a program. And trying to race in a division, and regardless what kind of car, there's a little between round maintenance going on, and me and Tater out here, we're cruising around with a golf cart and trying to do some magazine stuff, and when you drove by with Wayne's car, all those guys that were racing that day are over here making sure that car is ready to go the next round.
Yeah.
That's just a testament of the respect that everybody has for him.
Oh yeah, he was a great drag racer, and it's unfortunate that he cares so much about his business. He knows where his mind needs to be focused. I know he still has a love for racing, and we'd love to see him race more, but he's got a business to run, and I understand that. We force him a lot. Me and Danny push hard sometimes, just because we want to see him race, but I know what's important to him. He wants to take care of his customers the best he can, and I can understand that. I manage a business myself, and when them people leave, you want them to come back.
Right.
So. And I can understand it, but there's going to be a time for him to get to do some racing. And we got plenty of race cars, and we got plenty of parts.
But I tell you, when you're watching the races out here, and you're racing and making some passes and stuff, and how y'all keep this operation going is just amazing.
Yeah.
How it's just a fluid motion, and I know you guys don't get to sit back and watch it, like we do, but paying attention to what y'all are doing, moving and keeping this thing going, it is just. It's just fantastic.
And it's kind of,
to watch.
and the thing is kind of a family thing. You got, Wayne, you got Eric, and you got Sonny, and then there's times where Eric and Sonny are both out here trying to race.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for all of us to do all that. But I'd be lying if I didn't say we don't yell and cuss and carry on with each other. But at the end of the night, we're hugging and telling each other we love each other, and that's the way it is. It's part of it. But we told him I've told Wayne years ago, I got your back. If you can count on anybody, you can count on me, and I'm gonna stick to that. So we're here for them, and we got Essie in here, you got Patty down there, and then you got the mastermind in the tower. We could not, and Wayne and Patty and everybody agree, we could not do this business without Sonny in that tower. She does what 3 people couldn't do. I mean, them Sundays and them busy Saturday nights, how she is so focused and honed into dial-ins and calling up the class and make sure we don't have downtime and just the little things. And then amongst all that, she catches a guy that's not got a seatbelt on. You've got to put a seatbelt on or a helmet strap. She's sharp when it comes to that kind of stuff, and you just don't, unless you're just involved in it, you don't realize how valuable she is. So we're very fortunate to have her.
Yeah, we know her down there. She comes down out of the tower.
Oh yeah,
she talks to you two.
Yeah. She keeps us all lined out. Between her and Patty, we know what we need to do. But
And Frankie and Roxanne, they
love it.
They absolutely
they love it. They got grandbabies with me and Sonny didn't have any kids. We got dogs, but Mom and Dad got grandbabies, on the other side, and they love them grandbabies, and they bring them. But they look forward to me racing. They love watching me race, and I'm glad that they look forward to it.
We were talking a little bit earlier about how tough the competition is out here.
Oh, God.
And you've really been, the last year or so, you've been top of the class out here. You've been competing for wins week in, week out. Tell us a little bit about where you feel like your program is right now, and where you want it to go.
I'm not going to take that credit. I'm not near as good as some of these folks out here. We have got some heavy hitters in all classes here. I've won some championships and things, but it's more about being consistent, making the races, making sure your equipment's up to speed. Me and Wayne and Raider, we're constantly working on my jump down here, just trying to keep it going. But I do pretty good. But boy, we have some tough competition around here. Everybody has their ups and downs. We've got a little green card that's been giving us some fits in pro here lately. Tyler Green, he's on a roll, man. He's won 3 in a row, Wayne.
Yeah.
He of course, him and Artie and Tinker, the whole family, they know how to race. But and we're glad they're coming. I joke at them, tell them, man, they need to find somewhere else to race. No, they're doing an awesome job. And Tyler's killing it right now. He took the points lead this weekend.
That's what I was fixing to say. You had the points lead pretty much all year long.
Yeah,
up until like last week, and Tyler's passed you now a couple points ahead now.
Yeah,
so he's a pretty good battle with what 2.
Yeah. We got double points coming in 2 weeks.
So I mean, it's a pretty good battle between you and 2.
He could basically win it in 2 weeks if he does like he's been performing, and I don't see good luck stopping him.
For people that don't understand on the point system, 1 point can be like a mile away. Sometimes it's hard to make 1 point up because the competition is so tough.
Tough.
Yeah, it gets real interesting throughout the year. We all joke, I don't even know what points. I ain't keeping up points. You get down here where we're at right now, and you're 2 or 3, and you got a double points coming. And of course, there's them racers that love double points, and the ones that hate it.
Yeah.
The ones that hate it obviously have had no luck the past few double points races, but I don't really care the way. The most important thing to me is the family here. We have met, and Wayne has been in this a lot longer than me and met a lot more people, but the family and the people we have met here, I am closer to a lot of these people here than I am some of my own family. It's just amazing, and I'm a little biased because it's Centerville, but we have got such a great crew of people here, man. I mean, from the kids up to the grandparents, it's a great tight-knit family. Everybody cares for everybody. As far as like cars, keeping cars going, man, Wayne's got, like you said, the shop and the way he takes care of people, and I've got about all of my stuff over here. So if anybody ever needs anything, we make sure if somebody comes here and they need a part to race, we're here to help. So.
And,
It's
you know,
great.
and your racers over here the same way. Somebody,
Oh.
loses a transmission, has a spare one.
Oh,
You got to run people off because there's so many people wanting to help get that car back.
yeah, God, it's a great feeling.
And that's, like I said, that's another thing goes back to the test, the type of program that y'all run over here.
Yeah, we love it. We really do. It's hard work. I mean, it really is. That, like Wayne says, we scrape this track every week, and we're here on the weekends. I mean, Sonny, you're working full time during the week. A lot of people are really upset Sonny because they think that that's all she's got this place here to work. She said, no, I'm a professor too during the week. So, but it's a lot of work for everybody around here. But we could be more blessed to have. I always joke with people and tell them, I could have married into my wife's parents have a restaurant. I could be busting tables or something instead of announcing it at a drag strip. So. Yeah, we really like it here, and drag racing's our life. It really is. I mean, we look forward to it. It's a stress reliever. Ain't nothing more fun to me than being down that shop with Danny and Wayne working on cars and motors and rear ends or transmissions, and then tearing them up out here on the track. That's a stress reliever to me. So.
Well, Eric, we've enjoyed having you on the show tonight, and good luck. With your racing this year and years to come. And we were talking the last few days. There's great things ahead for you in the sport. We're really proud of you. Proud of what all of y'all have done out here, and it's just great. And we're just fortunate that this thing is so close to home for us. So.
Yeah,
it's one of those places. If y'all do get a chance to come, y'all need to come this weekend and watch some great racing.
Yeah, I'm not just plugging this place, but they've invested a lot here. It's a great place. We've traveled a lot of racetracks over the years and raced, and there's a lot of good ones out there. But Wayne and Patty have invested a lot of money, got this all new concrete 8th mile, ground down, got our K-walls in, safe. It's a dang good facility. We're very fortunate to have it here in our back door, that's for sure.
We are. Eric, thank you so much.
Sorry I was so quiet.
Oh, yeah. We were afraid that, we'd have to carry you through the segment, but you did well tonight. So.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Foster. And before we move to the final segment of the program, again, thanks to True Grit Auction Company, CCR Racing Parts and Accessories, North Little Rock, and Weston Petroleum Company for helping bring Tuesday Night Tune-Up. Once again, we're here at the Centerville Dragway. They're getting ready this weekend to have their Street Legal State Championship, I think the 24th year. And it's the oldest race of its kind in the world, and we'd like to have Wayne Stiles come back in for the final segment. And we've touched on this in a couple of segments tonight. Wayne, as we've said, he's the owner and promoter here, but for those people out there that maybe are not familiar with the sport or just don't know, this gentleman right here sitting between us was a very accomplished drag racer here in the southwest part of the United States before he decided to take the plunge and become the owner and promoter here. And Wayne, tell us how you got started drag racing.
Well, I had an uncle that had a Honda 350 motorcycle. I was about 10 years old, and he'd take it to Carlisle and run the motorcycle class, and he'd take me with him. Of course, all those cars were there, really cool stuff, and I just fell in love with it. But my grandmother worked for a news agency, and whenever they get the old hot rod magazines in that they didn't sell, they'd tear the cover off, and she'd bring them all home. And I just devoured them, man. I mean, I just loved that stuff, and it just made me love cars. And, going to the races. Now, I had my uncles on my dad's side, they were stock car racers. And I went with them to the Benton Speedway, is what they called it back then, and the Redfield racetrack.
I remember hearing about the Redfield track.
Yeah. We used to go there too. So I just loved all kind of hot rod stuff. It was all cool.
So what year did you start drag racing?
I think it would have been about 78 was the first time I went to the track. I bought a Chevy 2 There was a guy where I grew up down there named Bob Warlow. He kind of helped.
And that was in
beginners.
Sheridan? Is that
Well,
right, or?
East End.
East End,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Bob had a shop down there behind his house, and he helped a lot of guys like me that were trying to get going, you know. And he had a lot of knowledge and stuff, and I bought this Chevy. He told me about this Chevy too, and I bought it off of Mickey Smith, and Bob helped me get it fixed. It had some problems, and he started taking me to the track. You know, I didn't have a trailer, I didn't have a pickup truck, you know, and I started bracket racing with that thing. And I remember the first time I took the car to the track that it didn't break. I made it all the way down to 3 cars. Like, man, this is awesome. You know? So I was hooked. I wanted to do it all the time, and you know, I bought and sold a few cars there for a while, and I ended up with the Camaro I've got now. I think I got it in about 79 or 80, and had it ever since. And raced it. That was the main car that I ran.
And you was running at Prescott?
Well, we ran it. You know, living down that part of the state, that was the closest track.
Closest track.
We
that
did come
time?
up here a few times, but it was a little further. Carlisle was open some, you know, off and on during that period, and we'd go to Carlisle or to Prescott, you know.
And then you end up in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Yeah, got in the Mac tool business and moved up there. This was the closest track, so you know it became my home track, and we started coming here all the time. We raced here as much as we could. Of course, our kids got a little older and started playing ball and stuff, and you know that kind of got in the way of some racing. But it was one of those times you got to do that, you know, whenever your kids are that age, you know. We had a lot of fun doing that, but got right back to racing, you know, whenever I could.
And like I said, the white Camaro that you're talking about, I'm telling you just from looking back at a distance and watching, when Wayne Stiles pulled onto the track, when he was pulling up there to the tree, you pretty well knew there was a 90% chance he was going to win that race. You sit there and laugh, but you know I thought you were an awesome drag racer. You know, it seemed like, you know, as the day went on, you just heard Wayne Stiles, you know, and I remember one day me and Kerry White, he wanted to go down to Carlisle one day, and we made the long trip down there, and you were down there that day, and I think won that day at Carlisle. And then if I remember right, after that race, then you go down in Texas and won a big race down in Texas. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I went to, that was in 1988, and I got on a hot streak, got really lucky, and
He wasn't really lucky, he was really good.
won Super Pro 3 times here in a row, which was a pretty good accomplishment. Back in those days, there was pretty good karting
Yeah.
on Super Pro. And won 3 races here, went to Newport, won the 8th Mile State Championship, and won a 5,000 to win that Danny Nelson put on over there. And I was talking to Phil Jones over there, or maybe when we were at Prescott after that, and he said, man, look at you, you need to go to every race you can find. So he said, they got that race at Enos, so we went down there and they ended up winning here. You know, just got on a lucky streak.
Well, there's luck, but you know, you got to have a little luck in this sport, but also you got to have a little ability, and you had great racing ability. I mean, and this is not the type of guy right here, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to pat himself on the back, but we're going to do it for him. I'm telling you, he was a dang good drag racer, and then time travels on here a little bit, and then you decided that maybe you wanted to step into the track owner and promoter business.
Well, I didn't really.
Tell us how that came about.
In '92, Wendell had a pretty big race late in October. I think it was a combo race, paid $1,000 or something like that, and I won it. And I was up in the tower getting paid, and Wendell was tired. He said, man, I wish I could buy this dang place. I thought, buy the racetrack? So I went home and started talking to Patty about it, you know. We need to talk to Wendell. We need to go back down and talk to Wendell. And we worked it out, you know. I mean, he helped us. He financed most of it, and we got it done. And, you know, we've been here ever since.
And that was how many years ago, did you say? What year was that?
That was, we sealed the deal in January 1993.
Okay, 93, so, and, you know, you've just done amazing things out here with this place. You've really, you know, made it a state-of-the-art facility out here.
Appreciate that.
You know, the track project that you did out here is, you know, amazing to have the type of drag racing service that you have out here. This building here that we're sitting here in front of, the, you know, at the concession building is great. Nice towers that you have out here. The lighting and everything out here that you've gone in and redone, you've just got a phenomenal facility, and it just complements, you know, how y'all run your show, and facility it just complements you, and that's why we feel like you do so great out here in this sport.
Appreciate the kind words. We try really hard. I mean, you know, like Eric was saying, we love our customers. You know, they're like family, and you know, it's just a, you know, I mean, you just want to make it better, you know, for everybody, you know.
You know, you come out here and the grass always looks good, and you've got a lot of grass to mow out
Lots
here.
of area.
Yeah.
And I know most of the time when I call you on the telephone or something about something, you're always mowing, you know, so we try not to bother you too much. What do you see in the future out here at Centerville Dragway?
Well, we need to repave our return road. I don't know when that's going to get done, but that's number one on my list. But you know, there's always projects. I mean, I'd like to get some digital scoreboards. You know, I mean, there's you know, I think like that step at a time. You know, there's what I want to do next. You know, but the business needs to stay good. You know, hopefully it will, and I think it will. And, you know, we'll be able to do all those projects in time. You know, just keep making it better.
And you know, since you've been here, I mean, every year that anybody, if they've come out here every year since you've been here, you've always done something every year to make this place better. And like I said, it just goes to show the type of program that you and your family, you know, have out here. And I can't say that enough. I mean, we travel all, you know, we like racing. We travel all over the country. We've been to a lot of racetracks ourselves, and you know, you're just right up there ahead of everybody, in our opinion. And we're not just saying that because you're 10 minutes from home, you know, but it's just the truth, and it just goes back. I mean, you pull into this place, and you know, it looks like you pulled into the, you know, to the city park out here, all the trees and everything, and the grass, and you know, it just gives it a unique perspective out here.
If I go to another racetrack and there's a bunch of weeds and stuff around, I just start looking for a weed eater. You know? I want to go tell the guy, maybe you can take care of this.
But
Maybe we can
you know,
help out with that.
and that's another thing. I mean, it's, as Eric was saying earlier, it's a kind of a family thing. I mean, Patty comes out and she's out here mowing or helping you do stuff nonstop. And you got, you know, Sonny and Eric, and just, I mean, it's just.
You know, the deal with Patty, none of this would be possible without her. I mean, you know, it's not everybody's wife that'll let you sell your home, uproot your whole life that we had in Fort Smith, and come down here to chase
Start a new one.
to chase a dream like this. You know, I mean, she's awesome, and she really does a lot.
And here's the other perspective on being a track owner that a lot of people may not think about. You know, racers, if they want to take a weekend off and not go race, they just take a weekend off. But you guys, this is what you do. You can't take a weekend off during racing season because, you know, because Racer A over here, he may be taking off the weekend, but Racer B, he's down here trying to get in the gate. Yeah. So, you know, your lifestyle is built around racing season.
Patty says we work all week so we can work all weekend.
Yeah.
And y'all do. Y'all do. Well, Wayne, anything else about this weekend that you want to say before we tell everybody at home bye for another week?
If you don't come, you're going to miss a good one. It's going to be awesome.
I mean, it's going to be a great weekend. Great weekend of racing.
You can't ask for better weather. We're gonna have a lot of cool cars. It'll be some good racing.
It's a car show, it's a race, it's, you know, a lot of science that you can watch going on behind the scenes. It's just a full day out there. So try to make your way out here to the Centerville Dragway this weekend. And that'll close out this week's Tuesday night tune-up. And we want to thank Wayne Stiles and his family out here at the Centerville Dragway for having us out. We've really enjoyed it. We want to thank Eric for being on the show, Glendon Graham for being on this week's show. Next week, Tuesday night tune-up will come to you in Guy, Arkansas. We'll be at Bill Fry Motorsports. Bill Fry will be on the show. Barry Brantley is going to come over and talk to us a little bit about the Arkansas Drag Racers Hall of Fame and some of his involvement in racing. Ronnie Clenenden, drag racers from up there in Guy, Arkansas, he's also coming over. And I think we got one more surprise guest that we may have on the show next week, so tune in. And something we didn't do last week before we left Batesville, Arkansas, we have got to thank our program engineer, Aaron Gilkey, because I'm telling you, you can't see all this equipment that's setting up back here in the background, but if it wasn't for Aaron, Tuesday Night Tune-Up or the Arkansas Motorsports Magazine would not happen.
Because we wouldn't know how to set it up.
We wouldn't know how to set it up. So until next week, I'm Bill Gilkey for the Chameleon of Motorsports. Heath Tate.
Yes.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
Thank you.